Welcome everybody to the inaugural KSN Podcast. I am here with my co-workers Zack, Bailey Adams, and Sarah Kelleher. So we're going to be doing this every week, and pretty much we're just going to talk about UCF sports and what's been going on. Last couple weeks, nothing's been going on because they haven't played. So what do you guys think about this game coming up? How's that affected them not playing?
I think there's either one or two ways it can go. Obviously, they're going to be really well rested, but could they be rusty? I don't know. They had 2 days of practice last week, and I know Frost said those 2 days were key in getting them. They took the rust off a little bit last week and jumped right into game prep this week. So I think those 2 days probably helped. And then really I think 2 weeks, they had 2 weeks off, but that's also 2 weeks for them. A guy like Mike Hughes that's joined the team really late, didn't really have the defense down because he was here for such a limited time. I think he's going to have, he's going to be far more advanced than he would have been in games 2 or 3. I think that can go really well. The time off can hurt a little bit, but I think, halfway through the first quarter, I think all that rust will be shaken off.
Honestly, I don't think I agree with that, just because I feel like 2 weeks is 2 weeks not playing. Mm-hmm. You look at everybody else. Everyone else has had time to play. They've been getting used to the team and chemistry, because I feel like as much chemistry as you develop off the field, you need to be playing. What do you think?
Plus, the first game was against FIU, and
That's true.
So any potential problems they had probably were covered up by the fact that FIU was so awful.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what they're bad at besides.
Well, that's the thing. Was that too much of a confidence boost for them?
Oh yeah.
To play that first game?
I think it could go both ways. I know talking with the players yesterday, a lot of them were excited and just anxious to play again since it's been so long. But we saw it says right now UCF's average points per game is 61 points. Could that be an issue where they had a team that was mediocre per se, and they played them.
Mediocre is a very nice way to describe it.
And
FIU.
And now we're gonna play Maryland, who's a Big Ten team and just knocked off Texas. We don't really know.
Yeah. So what are the chances against Maryland? Are they gonna beat Maryland?
Well, yeah, they got a freshman quarterback playing, and Maryland also gave up 41 points to Texas. Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
51-41.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So and the fact they won because they scored so many points, and the fact they don't have a quarterback now is going to bode well for UCF, I think.
I think that win looks a lot better since it was against Texas in all of Texas's history, but I really don't think Texas is that good.
I was about to say, I feel like Texas is...
I think the name Texas has a lot more value than what their program really is.
They started a true freshman quarterback, what's his name? Ellinger?
Well, part of that wasn't because their number one went out.
Yeah, something like that, right?
He got hurt. So.
Yeah, you can't help it.
But still a true freshman starting for Texas that they beat.
Okay, but say UCF does beat Maryland. Because going into this year, people's expectations for the team varied wildly. There were people saying 6 wins, people saying 12 wins, and now they're only going to play 10. Chill. All right, we don't know. All right, but I'm just saying. They're playing 10 games right now. They're set to play 10 games. More than likely, there's going to be an 11th game played. I think we can pretty much assume that. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think for record at this point? I get we've only seen one game, so it's hard to determine the destiny of this team this season. But what are you expecting? What's a reasonable expectation?
It's difficult to put that first game out of our minds because we saw so many good things in that game, but now we've had the last 2 weeks to overanalyze it way too much. They did some things. They did some really great things in that game. They had some issues, but with a big blowout win like that and then 2 weeks to think about it, I think some people may have romanticized how well that game went and kind of forgetting some of the issues they had. That being said, I think the schedule plays out really well for them. I only see 3 or 4 games that they could realistically lose, and that's not to say that they will lose any of those games. They could win all of those games.
So you think undefeated?
I don't think the expectation can't be for them to go
Bailey
undefeated.
Adams says UCF is going undefeated.
That cannot be the expectation for them to go undefeated. I think they'll drop 2 games. I'm not going to tell you which ones because really I think
that's what I'm saying. What 2 games are they going to drop?
I think the Navy game.
They're not going to drop.
I think they're going to do
I don't even think that game's a competition.
That wasn't one of the games that I had in mind.
I don't think Navy.
I just think it's
USF
at
is
Navy.
Tough. Memphis, Maryland this weekend. That's it to me.
See, but if they beat Memphis, I think they'll beat. I feel like if they beat Memphis, they're going to lose to a bad team.
How does that? What? How?
Because they're gonna have. It's going to be a huge letdown playing these bad teams because they seem, at least last year, they seem to play down the competition. So if they beat a really good team, I just feel like they're gonna.
They beat FIU 61-17. You think they're playing down the competition?
No, I'm just saying last year. We've only seen one game this season.
But this season's team isn't last season's team. That was clear from that first game. The defense is better. The offense. Do you think that one game?
Yeah, but that was against
FIU.
a team that wasn't that great.
That's the team they played last year.
Yeah, but
They blew him out last year.
We blew him out more this year.
no, the others look better, but at the same time,
How much more did they blow him out by, though?
Like
20 points.
8 full points.
Oh,
But
it's
then
The score of the game last year wasn't it?
I think it was
53-14.
I think it was
right?
53-14.
But the key
So it's
thing
close to
here is
61-17.
last year, this team made mistakes in big moments.
Yeah.
Maryland last year, they made mistakes, lost in double overtime. They haven't been in a situation where they've had to make a big play in a big moment. So I think this weekend will be like a huge indication of how are they going to respond in big moments? How are they going to make plays? Like, are they more mature in their offense now?
Unless they're so good they don't need big moments because they blow out every game by like 35 points.
How realistic do you think that is?
Not at all, but I'm saying it's a possibility.
Plus, we haven't seen Mackenzie Milton play real defense yet.
Well, that's the other thing. Is Milton actually going to be the starter this whole season?
No.
He had a really good first. You think no?
No,
Why?
he's not that good.
Okay, we could talk. Sarah, what do you think about Noah Vedral behind him? I mean, do you think Vedral could eventually take that starting job? He had that really good stretch. I get it was against, I think, FIU's third string defense, but still, he looked pretty mature for a true freshman.
But they were all like 2-yard passes. Though. That's what bothered me. They didn't let him throw the
But
ball
he's
at all.
going to give. They're going to give him more time.
I know, but I'm saying, why not just take one pass 10 yards on the field? Just try it one time. They didn't do anything more
Well,
than 5
they
yards on
were
the
trying to make sure they didn't blow a 45-point lead with 3 minutes to go.
I struggle with the idea that he was playing against the third team defense for FIU because their first string defense is very similar to somebody else's third string. Their third team defense is so far below probably any defense UCF see the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah.
But there's
Their
other
first
factors that
team-
play into it. UCF was playing a lot of their second and third string guys.
But their first team defense is probably like someone else's third string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't so much the plays he was making as the instincts he had. I think back to that one play where he was forced out of the pocket and he had the decision instead of trying to throw some bad pass or take a sack. He, 10 yards back, he just went for the dive and
Yeah, he definitely
just
looked
accepted
good.
losing yards instead of making it.
He definitely looked good, and I think he did what he needed to do against that caliber of defense. But I don't think we can take the big leap yet and say, oh yeah, he deserves to be the starter.
I'm not saying
no,
he deserves, I don't think anyone's saying that at this
No,
point.
I'm saying by the end of the season, we don't know what's going to happen. We should probably take a step back. Milton had a really good first game, and people are already saying, "Oh, that was an anomaly." I think you have to give him a chance.
It might have been an anomaly
I
because
think
he still had those couple plays. There was one where he hit his own receiver in the back.
There was the other one where
coverage. He threw a ball in triple coverage, and those were classic Milton moments from last season.
Plus,
we saw a lot.
even when he hit his receivers, he underthrew so many people.
It wasn't
Even the guys who were wide.
You can't argue that it was a bad game because it was not.
No, it wasn't a bad
When you
game.
throw
I'm
for
saying
300 plus
no,
yards,
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm
touchdowns,
saying though that team's bad, so you should have the game against a bad team. But also, when you have guys wide open, he could have had 2 more touchdowns if he had just thrown good balls. But he just underthrew guys, and they just stopped and come back to the ball.
I don't know if I agree. You're making it sound like he had like a disastrous game. Or it was
No,
a game,
I'm just
or it was a
saying-
game of
no, no, no.
situation.
I'm just-
look. He's clearly improved since last year.
No,
I'm not
no,
arguing
100%.
that.
Yeah, the fact he's not throwing the ball backwards on 4th down, that's awesome. But he's still missing receivers he should be hitting,
Okay.
in stride.
And I know,
Especially-
you're a big supporter of Daryl Mack.
That's
in
right.
Time. Do you see that happening?
Oh, he's the best athlete they have at quarterback, right? I mean, the kid ran for 1,000 yards and threw for 2,000 yards in high school. That's the kind of quarterback you need for Scott Frost offense. That's what I want to see. I want to see Lamar Jackson type player on this offense. That's what I want.
They don't have that.
I know.
They don't. You
But
can't
that's-
just say.
but that's my dream.
Well, I want one of them to be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
that's
I ain't recruiting Lamar
having
Jackson,
never
so-
watched Daryl Mack play single college snap. That's my dream for him.
Is to be Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
What's that gonna work?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
You know what?
I think that's Frost's plan. Is let's just get a quarterback and maybe they'll be Lamar Jackson.
Hey, that's what everyone's plan should be.
Okay. But I don't know. I don't see Milton as the starter by the end of the season. Not because of.
Well, I think if they do well, I think if they do go 9-2 at 10-1, whatever, you're not going to see them switch.
For you, where do you see that trigger being pulled? What moment is Federal going to be able to
When
step up?
Milton messes up.
If they lose, if they
One
lose,
time.
I don't even
One
think
time.
it'll be. No, I honestly think that if he comes out first half against Maryland and throws 2 picks, then he's done.
no, I don't think
I
that
don't
at all.
see that.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I think they've invested too
I
much.
think if they
in-
lose,
I'm not saying he's done permanently, but I'm saying at that point Vedral's coming in. I really think that. Because they want to win every game this year. And I think they're at the point where they realize they have a shot at a conference championship. They theoretically have a shot at a New Year's Six Bowl because
Really
the
do.
American is a bit of a mess this year. And USF, their best team, has looked pretty awful in every game they've played. So I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they have the luxury to be like, well, he's our guy at this point. I think they want to win and they're going to do
But-
what they need to win it.
I mean, obviously they're not going to come out and say that, but it seemed like every player, every coach has said that Milton is the guy, and that Milton has improved.
It's easy to say Milton's
yeah.
the guy when he's coming off a 300-yard, 3-touchdown game. I would say he's out this week if anyone was saying, well, or I don't know. I mean, they're going to say what they're going to say because
They can also lie.
you don't talk against your
Starter.
You just
Don't do
I mean,
that.
that's wrong.
That's a
for
good way to kill
you,
confidence.
what happens this weekend? UCF gets a win, and Milton has a good game. Where
I
does
think this
UCF
weekend
win?
UCF wins by 65.
Wow.
And is ranked second in the AP poll and holds on to win the college football playoff.
All right. Hey, I endorse that.
Or Milton throws 2 picks in the first half and they lose the game. So I think those are the two.
Yeah, I think the latter's more likely.
Maybe just a bit. But I don't know. I'm not saying anything's immediate. I'm not saying that I think Milton's played his one game as the starter or anything, because we saw last year that he could make mistakes and they would. I mean, they weren't throwing Holman back in even when he was healthy. And part of that was because once they told him he's the guy, and you can't. That would have been disastrous for the season. The offense was struggling enough; it would have been disastrous to be flip-flopping between quarterbacks every time someone made a mistake. But it's really hard for me to believe that he's a sophomore. And I know I'm looking really far ahead, but I can't imagine him being a 4-year starter.
I don't think he is because he was Frost's first quarterback recruit.
Was he?
I mean, it was Frost's first year, and
I guess.
I can't imagine Frost.
I mean, that's walk-ons, but yeah, right. I guess it's
Well, I mean, first scholarship,
recruits,
first scholarship player. And I can't imagine Frost was too thrilled with Holman, and now that Frost has the opportunity.
Well, that's a little bit revisionist history people keep doing now. Holman was the guy until he got injured. There was no question that Holman was going to be the guy.
Well, how can you really be the guy coming out from an 0-12 season?
Sure, when the season before that you led them to 9 wins, yeah.
Yeah. But was that?
How do you say that to them? He led them to 9 wins in a bowl
Wait,
game.
did he lead them to 9 wins, or was the team just better?
The team,
was the team
Well,
was
better.
was the wins a function of the defense of the players
listen.
around him being good, or was he?
No, I
good?
get what you're saying. I understand.
First off, the thing is, the 0-12 team, we all recognize that was not an 0-12
It wasn't an
team.
0-12 team.
It was
Okay,
probably like a 4-win team.
but they didn't come close. Besides against the 1AA team.
I recognize that there were circumstances that led to that.
Okay,
kind of
well I
0-12
get
season.
it, but if you're at least a 4-win team, you shouldn't lose every game by 40 points.
By 0-6.
Especially with O'Leary stepping down mid-season, I think the whole season was just.
By the
How
time
about
they
it-
were 0-6, they were an 0-12 team. But to start that year, they weren't an 0-12 team.
I mean,
look, the thing is that didn't they miss a field goal last minute against FIU?
Against
in that first
FIU
game?
in
If they
the-
make that field goal, it was like a 27-yarder, I think.
Yeah.
If they make that field goal, I think that season plays out completely different. It's still a bad
It might,
season.
yeah, it's
I think
not-
they still only win 3 or 4 games, but I don't think it's this terrible blown out by the end of the first quarter game I think it was just confidence.
But the fact they lost to FIU was a bad team, and then they followed up with a loss to a 1AA team. The team wasn't very good.
I think, by the time they lost to Furman, I think.
No, yeah, I know.
Well, that was
exactly.
what did it for everyone. Was
Yeah.
the Furman game because at that point it's like, okay, we've lost to FIU and Furman, so all the fans are like,
Yeah.
well, what are we supposed to,
Because they lost
hold
to
on
FIU in
now?
the last second, then they went on the road to Stanford, and they knew they weren't going to win that game. No one thought they were going to win that
That was,
game.
I believe that was when Bo Schneider started.
And I think so. I think you're right. And then they lost that game, and they lost to Furman. I think by 0-3, when they had lost to FIU and Furman, they should have been 2-1. Everyone's mind, they should have been a 2-1 team. They were 0-3, so that kind of just triggered everything.
But that plays in that. But that does. It is a trigger because that's what I'm talking about. Because when you're a player, you don't. It's not like you're just locked in the gym. Like you hear what people are saying. You see the campus losing interest. You see 20,000 people in the stands.
No, I get that.
Changes how you
if,
play.
if there was actually 20,000.
No,
the
but-
reported 20,000 people.
But at the same time, it's
Yeah.
when you're a college athlete playing at a school like UCF, you gotta have some level of pride not wanting to lose to a FCS team. And
I'm not saying the players didn't. I'm not saying the players went to the game
No,
like,
I'm
all
not-
right, let's go. It's not
No,
the
I'm not
NBA
saying-
with everyone tanking.
I'm not
just
saying that
it's-
either, but
But I'm saying your mindset changes. I think. I'm
See,
not
but I
saying
don't-
they wanted to lose. I'm not saying they didn't care. I'm saying they were discouraged, and that changes. How you
see,
play.
and I feel like you're right
Thank you.
in many other
Case
circumstances.
closed. I was right.
Aside from the fact they played an FCS team, you should always beat an FCS team.
Okay,
That
but
you should never lose to an FCS team.
that's not necessarily true.
That is very true.
The top of the FCS. Look, it's a huge gap.
Okay,
but
but
it happens. Every game happens.
When you just said that Holman he was the guy because he led to a 9-win season. How does a 9-win team go from being that to maybe not being as good as an FCS team? I
They
mean,
lost a lot of good
An average
players.
FCS team. Too.
It
Yeah,
was
exactly.
it was
That's
that
fine.
they were not playing. Look. I don't know what I'm going to say next because I think I just lost the argument. But
Yeah, that's what I wanna
guess-
know.
I don't know. But the point is, I'm saying that from last season to this season, the team is very different.
No, I
The defense looks a lot better. The offense looks a million times better.
Yeah,
Where
that's
do you
tonight.
see them having trouble on their schedule?
You're obsessed with Navy.
Dude, yes, Okay,
Look,
so
we've seen them play one triple option team. It was Tulane last year. Do you
But
remember
that's
that game?
Tulane.
I understand that that's Tulane,
Yeah.
but
But it's
they still
Tulane.
picked that offense apart.
but
That was that was probably their most dominant defense.
But it's still, but running.
And Navy has
playing-
looked a step slow this year.
Okay, I get it, but they're also bringing a bunch of good people. By the time they get to UCF, because you gotta remember, I know obviously UCF will be a lot better. What game is that?
October 21st.
Thank you, baby.
Jesus, wow, encyclopedia right
Yeah,
there.
it is.
So yeah,
Thank you.
we're gonna look a lot better. UCF, but also Navy's also gonna have all that stuff worked out because they're trying to break in a whole new offense, and I think
That's so many ifs. I mean,
That's banking on them.
no, I'm not saying if. I'm saying they will look better, and so will Navy. That's just a fact.
You're not backing that on anything. You're just like, well, they'll look better because it's later in the season.
Yeah, because they're trying to bring in a whole new offense. I mean,
Did UCF's own 12 team look better later in the season? No, teams don't always get better. If it doesn't work out, it
because
doesn't
that team
work.
is bad. I mean, how's Navy done this season?
It's a great question.
They're 2-0.
They're 2-0. Who they beat?
They beat FAU. They blew out FAU.
They blew out FAU, who's got
no
Not gonna say.
one.
well,
And then
do.
they barely beat Tulane.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
and
not
they had
a
a bye.
that is not a
That Tulane team that-
inspiring.
Christian said the UCF defense was they picked apart Tulane last year, and then he said, "Well, that was Tulane. Tulane almost beat Navy this year."
Case.
So I don't think. I mean,
And
Tulane's better. They're not good.
UCF
Tulane's got
undefeated
better.
season in 2017.
Okay, but we're also basing your predictions off of a win against FIU.
I think we're going in circles here.
We
We're
are.
basing my predictions off what?
You predict you.
Obviously,
all
if they
we have
lost
to
to
go.
FIU, I would not be predicting
No, I know,
undefeated
I'm just-
season because they already would have lost the
I
game.
know. No. I'm talking. That's not what I'm saying.
You just said that's what we're basing our predictions
No,
on.
you're
How is
basing
that not what you
no,
said?
no,
Or I'm saying.
because you're basing. You think UCF's good because they beat FIU.
Yeah. That's how it goes. If you win a game, you're a good team.
But
If you
they're
win a game
bad-
by a line, you're a good team. If you look good in the game that you won well, then you're a good team.
I don't think so.
I think-
No.
This isn't SEC quality losses. This is like if you win the game and you win.
But
it
just because you win doesn't mean you're good.
obviously, obviously, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the way they won the game. I mean, you even look back
But
to
they
South
won- but they
Carolina.
won that
How
game.
many field goals last year? South Carolina State was that the name of the team?
That was a
played?
rough game.
They missed like what 4 field or settled for 4 field
I think they
goals.
still
Yeah.
3 or 4
in the first half.
Yeah.
And it was the thing where we won by 38, or the team won by 38, but there wasn't a point where it was like, there were points in that game where it was like, oh, that didn't look great. Or
If
this is a
that's-
little. There was no point in the FIU game where it was like, oh man, FIU looks like they could come back, or UCF looks like they might slip up. There was no point in that game, except maybe that one Milton throw. So maybe a single play where you had that feeling. That's what to me makes the difference. Yes, I understand they're playing a bad team, so a very bad team. So
Very, very bad.
It's hard to figure out exactly
Emphasize bad.
how good they are. Bad, like, in quotes. But it's just, I think that was a dominant of enough win to say, okay, this team is going to have success against better teams.
This is a lot tougher of an argument to have, I think, with the 2 cancellations, because at this point,
Yeah.
I
with
think
with those 2
Yeah.
games played at this point, it's possible that UCF could be 1-2, and everyone would say, "Oh, they're just going to finish 7-5 or 8-4 this year," because they could have lost. They could have lost
Sure,
to
it's
Georgia Tech.
possible, but it didn't happen.
It didn't. It didn't happen. It's just
I
a
don't
tough
know.
argument to have.
They
because-
would have beat Memphis. I
are.
really think they
See,
would have.
Memphis,
but now
Memphis
this-
looks good.
The situation is different now with Memphis because we're playing Maryland this weekend, who's a good team, and then Memphis the next weekend. And
Big-
before, it
Yeah.
was
straight into Memphis.
It was Georgia Tech. So
Yeah.
it was exact.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the thing is, I kind of have a feeling. I don't feel like, for whatever reason, I just feel like Maryland is going to be a pretty significant win one way or the other. I don't know if that's going to be a fight to the death like it was last year.
I honestly feel like they're going to win that game.
It's just the thing. Their quarterback's out.
No, that's my thing, is that Maryland won that game against Texas based on 100% offense. They scored 51 points. And when you lose your quarterback, that really hurts your offense. And their defense couldn't stop Texas at all.
Have they played a game since
They
they
played
lost?
Towson.
How'd they do?
They blew them out 63.
Is that a real
But
place?
that is a place. Couldn't tell you where it is.
Towson? Okay.
Couldn't tell you where
I'm
it is.
assuming FCS.
There, yeah.
We guess so. So we can't really base anything from Maryland off of that game either, because.
But they did play Texas, and Texas played USC
yeah.
tough, which I don't like USC that much.
But,
But-
does the fact that these 2 teams went to double overtime last year, does that play a role in how UCF plays?
I don't think it plays a role in how they play. I think it plays a role in what they're thinking about the game. They want revenge. They've said that this week. You wrote about that in your Night Notes article. But I don't think they go into the game like, oh man, we really got to be ready for another double overtime.
Well, I don't mean that,
I think
but
when you're
I
in the
mean,
game, it just shuts off.
Is that going to
you're ready
add
play.
more fuel to UCF's UCF's fired.
I don't think Maryland UCF is a rivalry. I really don't think that that's for either of
Well,
us.
actually, we did steal Cordarian Richardson, so
That's actually a good point.
I did not think about that.
That's actually a really good point.
So
I did
who's
not
better?
think about that at all.
that's right.
I mean, technically,
If he
like
plays,
you
that's
said,
interesting, too.
these teams aren't rivals, but is there still that like revenge factor?
I think for UCF there's a little bit of bad blood, maybe just because of the way they lost.
Yeah, not like so much the game, but the way that the game.
I think for Milton it will be. Because he
No,
played-
for sure, because that
He
was
played
went
so
from the
bad.
start of the game. Everyone was saying, "Oh my gosh, this guy is the future of our team." To by that double overtime period, fans were already jumping off the Milton bandwagon.
Because but that last play was just such a. Like you talk about instinct with Vedral, that last play he had on that fumble was.
And honestly, that's why I keep talking about that with Edgar, because he didn't really show any true freshman moments. I get he didn't play a lot. I get he was playing against a high school level team, but I just third string FIU.
They're college players.
Look,
They're getting paid to go to school. I'm
it
not.
was a manner of speaking. I recognize that they are better than a high school team. I'm just saying it was a very bad. level of
Yeah.
defense. But it's just he showed good instincts. He didn't make dumb mistakes.
Well, maybe he's just a smart. Yeah, I think he might be a smart kid.
Isn't that half the battle?
Yeah, because I mean, wait, isn't he like he's what Frost's buddy's kid, something like that, or?
Something like that. I don't know the exact.
I mean, I can't imagine. Yeah.
What?
I mean,
Something
It's something like
It
that.
is something like that. I don't know what the
Yeah,
exact
I
thing is.
mean-
I know he came from Nebraska, and that was the whole thing.
I can't.
Do you know?
Frost knows his parents or his uncle. Or something.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine that Frost would associate with stupid people. So.
Good to know. Is that the title of this episode? Frost doesn't associate with stupid people.
Say Frost's a smart guy.
I don't know.
Doesn't
Well, if
matter.
there's one thing we should really talk about that's important about the two games not being played at this point is how did that impact their uniform combination plans for this year? That's something that I'm really concerned about.
Are you asking yourself a question?
Yeah, because
I'm
I
basically
cannot
talking
answer.
about-
I can't
Yeah.
answer a single thing about this.
Because they were gonna wear the pewter black pewter, and that was a really good, cool combo. That's what they wore against FIU last year. But with the chrome gold, I think that would look great. So I guess the question just is now: do they bring that combo back for another game, or is that just retired? I don't know. That to me is the big storyline of the season: is how the decals and uniforms were affected.
I say.
Will they win the games? I don't really know, but the uniforms, I think.
Will we win the uniform battle? That's the case. Or that's the question.
Have you seen the uniforms Maryland was wearing against them?
No,
I have
UCF?
Are they the yellow ones you said?
They're throwbacks to their 1920.
Right. So we're gonna win. So we're already 2-0.
And they're very not good.
So we're 2-0. Who do we play after that?
Who is next?
Memphis.
Memphis. Let's see.
That's right. We said Memphis is
Three
next.
scheduled.
Memphis just had those
They have
the AT&T helmets. So they just wore.
I kind of like those though.
Those were
What?
not
I
good.
kind of like them.
What?
I kind of like.
How did you like
I
them?
like blue.
Let me ask you a question. Who's your cell phone provider?
Verizon.
What? Then why did you like their helmets?
They're cool. I don't know.
About that. And then after that, they've got Cincinnati. Cincinnati's always had terrible uniforms.
Let's start. Yeah, let's take shots at uniforms.
East Carolina's they could do better.
They have the cool logo in the middle. Of the
Pirates.
field.
Yeah.
Navy's just a Notre Dame ripoff. SMU has pretty good uniforms. So SMU might be tough.
But guess what?
UConn
Nice white horses.
UConn is literally a puppy on their helmet. So I wouldn't worry about that team.
Puppies
too
are
much.
cute.
Yeah.
Puppies are cute. They're not scary. They don't win games.
They're fast.
Ask the Timberwolves in the NBA.
So are the letters UCF scary?
What?
Oh, that's true. What do we have in our helmets?
Nitro's
We have
scary.
numbers.
Nitro's
Yeah,
scary.
Nitro.
Yeah, Nitro
numbers.
logo?
We have letters on our helmet.
We have letters?
Yeah, letters.
Yeah, not numbers.
Yeah.
That's not a number.
He said letters.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said letters.
No, I did. But
You did say letters, numbers. But the point is that I don't know what the point is. I guess uniforms.
The point is that the point
There's
is
no point to this conversation.
based off
at all.
uniforms, we're going undefeated. Book it.
Except for USF, because USF might have their uniforms. Now.
Okay, so
Unless they wear those whatever the SoFlo uniforms that are probably
which one?
the ones that are like neon, the brightest neon you've ever seen. In
Oh,
your
I kind of
life.
like
No,
those.
those look
I kind of like.
But it's strategic advantage though.
Why is it, so it's gonna blind
'Cause
you.
you're
Exactly.
team?
Exactly. He knows.
I get it.
This
I
guy's
just want to see USF for that game, like the chrome gold decals, like just chrome gold uniforms, like wrapped in like gold tinfoil.
No, I'm not talking about the chrome though. I'm talking about the
neon stuff. I know you're
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's.
Honestly, I like USF's uniforms a lot. They have good uniforms.
I like them except for the neon ones. Those are the only ones I don't.
I say score predictions for this weekend, and who's your winner?
Score predictions to who's your winner.
Crikey.
Put me on
Score,
the spot
what's
like
your
that.
score prediction for this weekend? Who's your
Alright,
winner?
hold on.
I think UCF's gonna win 34-21.
What do you guys think
I
about
hope
that?
Cordarian Richardson plays.
Yeah, me too.
He's
He
gonna
looked,
play.
he looked
I hope
the
he
best
plays-
out
I
of all
hope
the
he
running
plays-
backs. He looked the best out of all the running backs.
I don't think I agree with that.
I do.
think I do.
Really?
He looked
Who looks better?
Jawan Hamilton fumbled. Had like what 50 yards and like 90,000 carry. He didn't look good. What's his?
How many plays have been run?
We're UCF fast, baby. What? Killings isn't even like a running back. I mean,
He was that running back.
Yeah, but he's like a.
Did he catch any passes? Did they? I can't remember if they had a wide receiver.
That game was like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
It definitely was not.
and guess what? Research? Nah. But Richardson definitely looked the best. He definitely looked the best out of all the running backs. I know it was.
But
late
I don't
in the
think
game.
he's going to come out
Yeah, I don't
on
think-
first snap as the
No,
running
no,
back.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'd like to see that happen.
What was your score prediction?
34-21.
Okay, my score prediction. Someone else go.
All right, I'm
I have
going.
to think about this.
I'm going high scoring. I'm going 42-38. No, I don't like
Who
this
scores what?
Oh, obviously UCF wins.
Obviously by
Why
that
did you play the
4-point
game?
margin.
I didn't even play the game.
God, do I actually think 38? No, you know what? Just kidding. Scratch that. 42-31.
42-31.
Yes,
UCF.
UCF wins.
I'm going to go with a bold prediction.
A 6-3.
I think
slugfest.
UCF wins 45-24.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
that Maryland cannot recover their offense without their quarterback.
Actually, shoot, you're right, man.
And I think that UCF takes
I-
advantage.
That's a
I'm the
single
only
line.
one that's not going to go with a more than one possession game. I think UCF wins, but I think they win 34-27.
34-27.
Yes.
Who scores the touchdown?
Why are you going to ask me that?
I'll tell you.
Cornelius Richardson scores 1. I'll tell you that.
You think Cornelius
He's going to score a touchdown. He's going to get carried down.
How many yards is
the line.
Milton going to pass for?
245.
245?
I was going to say 250. Yeah.
We're on the same
I
line.
think he goes over 200 for sure.
I think the team would hope so.
I think
Considering
if they're going to win
Well,
the
you're
game.
Yeah.
saying that he's going to come out and not play. So.
I'm saying I
He said
was
he
saying
said
that as a
potential.
situation.
Yeah, there's a potential.
I think that he'll crack 300 yards.
So it's
I mean,
not-
he did so pretty easily against FIU.
It's not that you're saying he will throw 2 interceptions in the first half. It's saying what if.
I'm saying that's exactly
I
right.
think it's
I
worst
don't
case
think he's going to
scenario.
come out and throw 2 picks.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to
No,
happen.
that's just worst case.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next week with another KSN podcast. Thanks for tuning in.